You want to fight crime? Let's get dangerous.
And yes, it is. It is another Saturday, and we probably won't be here too long because why is another no show? And what is a no show? A no show is pretty much where we just pretty much hang out and just, have some fun and everything. If depending on the amount of people that are here and who has questions and who wants to talk about different stuff, whether it be just random type stuff or stuff that is currently happening in the industry here. But nevertheless, let me start over and say welcome back in. And I'm Joe McPhee here, and we're going to get started here. There they are. There's the Sunstrider clan here. Yep, Beanie and Lils, we got a no-show. So pretty much whatever you guys want to talk about tonight is the topic here. But we got brand new pickups here. We got a couple of sketches that I worked on and a couple other things to go over here. So nevertheless, let's get into it here. But before we do that type of documentary and show and tell, we still got to do the whole thing about Stupid O'Clock happening 1 hour into the show here. That is followed up by Last Man Standing, which I don't think is back on the air. I do know that Stupid O'Clock is still happening up on the Holocon, but I have not seen a Last Man Standing as of yet here. Never mind, the furthermore still happens 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday. And let us not forget about Comic Book Spectrum, which is on Thursday, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern here. You could catch myself, Elaine, and Cliff again talking about comics, movies, and just about anything and everything here. So with that being said, let's get into it with this no show, which is pretty much new comic book pickups for the week. And when I say pretty much new comic book pickups for the week, is pretty much, I don't have any major topic to talk about beyond this here, but there's a couple of good things that did come in the mail here, comic book wise. So it's going to be very, very interesting, such as this Perfect Bound. I think this is like a 4x4 book here, even though it's in a magazine bag here. And there we got Old Dog. There's Old Dog right there. Good evening here. It's 4x4, but it is one of my favorite old time type heroine type stories, which is called Rio Rita. This is like everything that happened in South America here, and I believe these are a lot of the reprints from a couple of other things. It is partially detached from the cover here. That was the one thing that was not disclosed here, but this is the kind of like the retelling of a lot of the stories from like the 1944, which bled into the whole Film Force legacy here. Going back to the old school Senorita Rio days. And a lot of these stories were redrawn by AC Comics. So it is a nice little pickup here. I wish it was completely attached to the cover now since I've seen it here, but it is still a good pickup. I'm still happy that I got it. And I will get to read it and probably review it and everything here. I'm hanging in there. I still got a lot of stuff to do between now and Mondays, but it is what it is here, old dog. And Beanie and Lils is filled of broccoli tempura. She says she got glue. Yeah. I mean, the right type of glue will fix the problem with that here. So let's get back into the new comic book pickups for the week. So we end up getting Bombshells United number 18 and number 19. And you know what that means, right? For those who don't know, that means with these two, the series are that series is complete. I do have the full run of Bombshells United as of right now. Then we're going to follow that up with something that I believe is kind of epic here. And this one, I definitely got to get pressed here because this is probably going to be the one that I actually send in. We got another Conan 23. And Conan 23 is first Red Sonja, first appearance of Red Sonja. And hello, Santiago Garcia. Welcome on in. We're just talking comic books for right now, what we got brand new and what was picked up here. So we got first appearance of Red Sonja in Conan 23, and that is going to be followed up by Conan 33, which is the third appearance of Red Sonja. So I have first and third. So this is my second copy of this, but that's my first copy of third appearance. I still need to get the second and first cover appearance of Red Sonja in 24, Conan 24 here. And then we kind of go a little bit more old school here with a Lois Lane number 13, which is pretty nice here. Yep, I just said that. I still need 24, which is the first cover appearance. Yep. I'm so proud she knows first appearance and such now. see, Parallax is crying those tears of a proud mother. So we got Lois Lane number 13, which is pretty nice here. The only bad thing here is like if I could get we have a little bit of damage there, but it's a pretty nice one. Oh my goodness, we haven't had Tori here in a long while. Welcome on in, Tori. Been a minute here. Been a minute. My little clone. Yep. Now, for those who don't know, Tori has her own YouTube channel. She do slab reveals and play video games and everything here. So she has, I know I haven't seen her around in a bit here, but it's nice to know that she is still up and about and around and still doing her thing here. Now, this book, I'm not certain if I'm going to keep or not. And this is Superboy 167. This is one of the few times where they talk about Clark as a child more so than anything else here. I'm not certain if I'm going to keep that or not. But then I also find some rarities such as Jackie Joyner Kersee in High Hurdles, which is a Sports Illustrated comic that features Tony the Tiger. So that one is one of those weird but rare type finds that if you're not paying attention, you would like overlook it and it fall by the wayside here. No. No. Yeah, I like Tori. I want to get mad at her for a fool. No. It's like when she said I was grieving, I know exactly why. I don't put other people's business out there here. Yeah, remember her commercial 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kick. No, but I understand. It's not my place to say what actually happens, but that was if I could say the last couple of months was very trying, and you made everything perfectly clear here. So I'm happy that you are back and watching YouTube and coming back and enjoying comics and everything to that magnitude here. Just also know one other thing, that you are loved and you are welcome amongst those who truly know you. So don't worry about anything else here. I understand the type of loss that you took here. So that's me not going to specifics, but I understand why she says she was, the whole thing about the grieving and everything that caught me off guard. That caught me off guard because I wasn't made aware of any changes. Yep. Yeah, you're doing the right thing, Beanie. Beanie, that is a hug scenario here. Getting back to new comic book pickups, by the way, we got the extremes of Violet, issue number 0. This is one of the ones that was kind of like a freebie. I have no idea what this is about, but that was given to me for free. And then we got from Dawn of DC, Power Girl number 3 and number 4, and this is the version of Power Girl that doesn't know if she is live or Memorex. She said, "I'm starting to get back to normal." Cool. That's excellent. That's the key thing. Life still goes on, but you need to take time to, if I could say, give proper remembrance. See, and then she said that book looks like a Leia book. Which one? You talking about the extremes of Violet? Yeah, that probably is a book that you would probably want to get. And then it's like, I only get B covers for DC. Oh, okay. Tori gotta be like Gimli and Lord of the Rings. Just keep breathing. That's the key. Yeah, the Violet book. I kind of figured that was that. Yep, I kind of figured that was it here. And then I got this graphic novel, which now once I started looking into it, I read the first couple of pages of it. I'm up here. It's like, should I go ahead and review it? Because in a way, I'm not digging it, but at the same time, I have to give it like a real read through in order to really comment on it. But the graphic novel is called Daddy's Little Girl. And this is getting into like the old school scene here. And then we got Sly Buster here. What is the most literary Batman omnibus? As a non-Batman fan, I would have no idea. I would have no clue. I am not a Batman fan, so I would not know the most literary Batman omnibus to get here. That would be a question for Parallax because she collects just about everything here. And she's going to say the exact same thing. Both of us are not Batman fans here, but if you had a question about Wonder Woman, She-Hulk, or Challengers, or something to that magnitude, or something that I follow religiously, I'll be able to answer that here. She's recommended get the DC Finest trade paperback of Golden Age Batman. That's what that's the suggestion there. 26 bucks or like 30 for like 30 to 36 issues here. I'm currently still on finding a caregiver roller coaster and just adjusting. I learned last week. Oh, okay. So I wasn't on YouTube, so I wasn't sure if you popped in on Henri or not. For those who don't know, it's like Tori and I actually met through Henri Copin through one of his YouTube shows and everything. So what she's going through is, like I said, it's like I knew about it, everything here. What do you mean never read non-superhero stuff? No, I read a lot of more female-led titles, so I have read things from like romance and everything else here. So just because I'm not a Batman fan, you just can't automatically jump to it's like you just never read non-superhero stuff. It's like, no, I read a little bit of everything, but I'm not a Batman fan, so I can't comment on what is the best omnibus here. And Tori says she likes the long Halloween here. Oh, Lils get it's like get you a pin for Joe. It's okay. Yeah, like Seth, Chester Brown, or Chris Ware. Henri is such a excitable fellow. Great Juju. Yes, he does. Yep. Oh, I asked if you ever read. Yes. See, Thomas Wayne is the best and only Batman. That I will agree here. I like Flashpoint Batman. And I like Flashpoint Beyond, that series here. But getting back to new comic book pickups for the week, going into some non-superhero stuff that I have picked up here, such as Liberty Metals. Starting with, I believe this is Liberty Metals 8, 10, 17, 18, 19, 21, 24, 25, 33, and the source book. So all of those came in here. And to kind of round things out, we got Unbeatable Squirrel Girl number 22 and 14. They were out of order here, but I'm going to put them in order. And to complete the run, we got Squadron Sinister number 4. So that is another completed run here, which means that so with that in mind here, we're going to do a quick little update overview here. So collecting wise, still haven't found anybody that's really selling Film Force issues beyond issue 100. So getting the last 50 or so issues has been a pain in the rear. Still the same thing with Ghost. Not too many places have Ghost as a whole here. I did pick up a couple more Spirit books, so that will be updated shortly here. I have not made the attempt to figure out which Uncanny X-Men is still coming in through the mail through my LCS through the pull process here. And I still have not pulled the trigger on the 129 as of yet here. However, I do have a Wonder Woman 63 coming in the mail as of right now, so those numbers will change as well here. And then it's like, I would say that Joe is about 52% superhero, about 48%. Yeah, I'm about like half. I have a print of Brandy in the Wonder Woman outfit that is like 2 sizes too small. Okay. And then he said, yeah, there's a good lecture online with a professor named Nick Mount. He has one about graphic novels in general and another about Chris Ware in particular to find it just search. Okay. Cool. I might check that out here. I may check that out here. You have piqued my interest in that here, which is quite interesting here. And we're going to round everything out here that I still have to finish the last 2 volumes of the 1993 X-Men run here. So with that being stated here, new comic book pickups being done, over the last couple of days. I just, like I said, production update, really haven't done much of anything other than doing the sketches in the source book material here. Some of the things that I could actually show here would be something of that magnitude here that really doesn't have too much significance in what I'm doing with Amazonia as of right now. These are just things that I'm working on. Those are the last two ones that I kind of finished. This one is kind of like a mock-up of a possible Jessica Rabbit here, and then an unfinished one, which I still have to, kind of like get what I really want to design down on a piece of paper and everything. But I'm finally getting back to getting things on pencil and paper as a whole here. And Sly is saying he's a great professor. He teaches a university course called Literature of Our Time, features which always features a graphic novel, which is interesting because which is very, very interesting because now you're making me think about Chris. If you ever really want to talk academia, you might want to look up Christina Branch. She actually did a couple of lectures over there for Indiana State University for Gender Through Comics, and she did an online course for that several years back. So you might want to look her up and ask her about that course and what was taught and the things that she lectured about as well here. But yes, these are the types of things that would need to be brought out more so to the general public to make them realize that comics, graphic novels are just as much a part of our art and literature as a whole here. And Sly Buster said he will check it out. So that's kind of cool. So now I gotta look up Nick Mount, and we'll go from there. That would be kind of interesting here to see what he does and how he does what he does here. And it looks like you piqued the interest of Parallax here. Oh no, she just says she sent the pic here. If she's sending us a picture, that means I have to get this second monitor up and going here. I was just going to try to do it as a one monitor show here, but no, people are sending me pictures. Let's see what the crowd is sending me today here. And yes, this is a very interactive show. I that's one of the things that I love about this, especially when I do a no show here. When I don't have a topic to talk about, it is what it is here. And we get to talk directly to one another and ask questions and find out what we like, dislike, and everything to that magnitude here. It's like, yeah, you did pique my interest here. Yeah, listen, Joe, I always send you pics. No, but this is a good time to send a pic here because there's nothing distracting me from talking about anything of substance other than what you guys want to talk about here. And now, come on, Facebook, load this stuff up. I don't know what it is about the laptop now and the internet, the way the internet has been performing as of late. It's just been taking a lot longer time to send, to transmit stuff here. But let me go ahead and do this in private window. Branch, just like a tree branch, Christina Branch. She has done several comic book series. The one that is most known was Good Boy. So she was actually a college professor before she actually did the Good Boy series. So that's just something to kind of get your academic taste wet here as far as the type of stuff that she covered in her course here. I actually took one of her courses, so that's the only reason why I brought up her information here. Blanche, yeah. Fine. You knew exactly who I was talking about. Yes. So pretty much that's what's actually happening right now. I'm trying to find this. One of the things about slow PCs, and come on, it's not loading up Messenger on the laptop for some reason. And every time I try to bring stuff up, it want to take forever and a day to load. I don't know why the picture and stuff. Yeah, she did a couple of stories for Tales for the Crypt as well. Yes, that is true. She also did a few for Tales of the Crypt here. That is correct. Good Boy is a reverse John Wick. Yep. I forgot which store that she is part owner of too. She also owns a comics shop as well. Yeah, you like the what, the Four Seasons commercial, Four Seasons heating electrical commercial here. You're you and you know stuff. Yeah, all yeah comics. That is correct. In Muncie, Indiana. That's the thing with all these reprints and everything. I don't, and the fact that they rebranded EC Comics and they're producing newer offshoots of those comics. It's not the same. I mean, people love the reprints more than the newer stuff that's coming out. But it is, I see why. And the more I delve into going from collecting what I collect here, as far as the silver and golden age, I'm finding myself moving more into the pre-code stuff now, and it's just too much money to get into a lot of the pre-code stuff, especially when you really want to sit down and read them. I mean, there's plenty of ways that you could get omnibuses of things like Jungle Comics and stuff to that magnitude, but it's not the same as holding that actual issue in hand and just reading it here. Yeah, even those reprints are getting pricey. Yep. Oh, do you remember the one that I got recently that I showed on new comic book pickups for the week here? I showed one that I got picked up recently. It was pretty much kind of a little bit tore up from the floor up, but it was a very good issue of Crime Does Not Pay. Matter of fact, I'm debating if I no, I can't even do it. I can't even do that show tomorrow. Um, there is a show on YouTube called Sunday Funnies, and it's hosted by oh my goodness, why his name just escaped me here. You guys gotta bear with me here. It's like uh Randy Zimmerman. It's hosted by Randy Zimmerman, and yes, the Randy Zimmerman that is the current owner of Arrow Comics. So he has a show called Sunday Funnies on his YouTube channel, where he goes through like a lot of the older books and everything to that magnitude here. And I believe on this Sunday, I think they're doing, I forgot which book they were doing here. Every so often I drop by and get and be on the panel and everything, but it really depends. But you learn a lot of good stuff. You learn a lot of good stuff when you start taking a look at the pre-coded classics and seeing the books for what it is here. Now I'm going onto the phone here because I need to figure out what in the world is going on here. So on tomorrow for Sunday Funnies, they're going over manga. This time around, they're doing Akira, and they're doing a deep dive on Akira for Sunday Funnies here. Yeah, police seeing Plastic Man in Police comics is way different than the Plastic Man that we eventually got in like the 60s and 70s. And that what made me love Il O'Brien is going back and reading the Police comics, Plastic Man, because of what had happened to him. And that's one of the ongoing stories. The reason why I love the fact that when Plastic Man joined the Justice League, they wouldn't leave the fact that he was a criminal alone. That is like, oh, you was a former criminal. Is this that? It's like people can rehabilitate themselves and become a upstanding citizen, but you guys won't leave him alone. And you have to be mindful. It takes everything within him to kind of maintain some type of sanity. Plastic Man is not one of those heroes that you play around with. You don't play around with him. You don't get him to the point where if you get him mad enough at you, he will break you off something. And I believe it was said best in Injustice that out of all of the heroes that Superman had to deal with in Injustice, the one that he feared the most was Il O'Brien. It wasn't because he was more powerful than him. It wasn't the fact that he had access to anything that could hurt him. Kal-El couldn't predict what he would do if pushed. And that was kind of like the key thing here. Yeah, I need to hit up CGC. Why you need to hit up CGC here? Oh, melons and bookies. Okay, now that makes sense. Yeah. Oh, you're a huge fan of DC Finest. Okay. Yeah, I love manga. I have been rereading Sailor Moon, and I have gotten Battle Angel Alita box to read too. Oh, okay, cool. All right, we got some pictures. So this is the type of stuff that I load up the picture and now it's taking forever. Thank you, PC. I might just have to open the stuff up in a different web browser. At least run this on one and then try to open up the pictures and stuff in a different web browser. It's taking its while. It's taking a time for it to load here. So let me go ahead and come back to where I was at until I can get it to load here. So it gave me a proxy error. Great. Okay. Enough is enough. And she says, I have you read Riding Shotgun manga type book. It's American. and there is a cartoon on YouTube about it here. It only went 2 issues. Yeah, I could understand that because you said it's American and they can't keep up with those type of schedules very well to a certain degree here. So let me do a couple of things behind the scenes here. Uh, okay, we're clearing the cache here. And now this screen went blank. Okay, there we go. Having technical difficulties here, but screens are going blank and everything, and cache and cookies are doing whatever it does. Now we're going to retry the Facebook where we can see pictures. And now I got to remember what my password was for good old Facebook. And I'm trying to log back into Facebook on the PC now since I have to clear my cache and cookies here. And everything is being a pain. So I do apologize for the silence here because we got people who want me to show them pictures and everything. But nevertheless, let's see. I don't want dead air here. This is always the type of stuff that I dread because I don't usually keep my passwords a certain way, and when I have to clear cache and cookies and stuff to that magnitude, and if it doesn't take the passwords and everything, that usually is an indication that somebody tried to hijack it at one point in time here, or something else had happened. And we got people on I don't understand why this stuff is taking forever and a day. Maybe it'd just be easier to do it on the phone, and that way I could just log in because it's just not doing what it's supposed to do. Okay, I'm getting everything together because again, when your laptop don't want to act right, but everything else is working perfectly fine. Okay, so we got the password all taken care of here. Now it's logging us in. Now I got to figure out what's going on with the laptop here in a few moments. And I don't know why these people are up here doing all this stuff on PlayStation right now. What's going on with all these PlayStation notifications? Okay, Meta car. Okay, making certain that I'm not a robot here. There's people out here talking mess. Okay, I don't have to worry about that. So ignore the stuff that's happening in the background as far as the blings and dings and everything here, because that's somebody else talking to other people on PlayStation here. So now I'm back on the Book of Faces after clearing the cache and cookies, hoping that things will load faster, and it looks like things are loading faster. And then it grayed out. So, well, it doesn't look good for these pictures here. It really doesn't. So we might just move on. We might just end up moving on here because everything is taking forever and a day to log in. So either something on my laptop is being throttled, or there's something else going on with, as you would call it, the Book of Faces, that's just causing everything to be very, very slow. But that's neither here nor there. I'm kind of sort of used to going with the punches and flowing through a lot of this type of stuff. Nope, it loaded that page up pretty nicely, so that's not the problem here. It's the Book of Faces. Why is Facebook doing that tonight? I just don't know. But neither here nor there. And when I try to pull it up in another tab, it says, oh, cannot load at this time. Book of Faces need to stop acting up. Okay, let's go back to the in private browsing here. I just don't know why things are just not going well. But then again, I'm glad that this did not happen on a show where I'm up here actually was prepared and had a whole bunch of things to say. And I'm also glad that I'm not one of those publishers that'd be like, here, buy my books, and then talk to you in depth about what I'm trying to do book-wise. It's more to life than that. Okay, so the Books of Faces, and we got to do the Indicia again, the reCAPTCHA again. While that is trying to load up here, let's go back. I swear it's something about Messenger that it does not like. I don't know why Messenger. What pin? Yeah, it's something about Messenger that's not loading correctly. Because I went directly into Messenger and it's like, nope. Other pages are loading perfectly fine. Hip Comics loaded perfectly fine. It's the Book of Faces. So no pictures as of right now, but nevertheless here, that's pretty much all I got, unless you guys got other stuff that you want to talk about here, because I'm just up here. Oh, the only thing that I'm kind of looking forward to now is I'm in the middle of watching regular show The Lost Tapes here. And I like how they introduced this side series of new episodes here. So they it's like, is it a relaunch of regular show? Pop, yes, it is, but at the same time, they are sticking to the history and the current history of it and everything to that magnitude. So that is kind of good and great as a whole here. But nevertheless, that's pretty much all I got here. And it doesn't look like the Book of Faces is going to play nice with me on the laptop tonight. So we don't get to see the pictures that she showed, which was dealing with Brandy, I believe. It was one with Brandy and one dealing with the actual comic that she was playing around with. But nevertheless, it is what it is for right now. And I can't move forward on that here. And like I said, it's a no show here. And like I said, I'm pretty much here for you guys. And if you're not, if you guys don't have anything that you really want to talk about here, there's not much more I can do on my side because, like I said, I don't have really anything to truly talk about this week. Only for this week, because this week I was wanting to take a week off of like really getting into the nitty gritty of things that I have seen over this week as far as comic book related stuff. I'm getting so tired of seeing the usual, if I could say, these keys are going cold because of blah 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 blah, or you should invest in that book or this book, that, and the other, blah blah. It's like nobody's talking about what they're reading. Nobody's really saying, "Hey, this is a great series, and this is the reason why I like it anymore." Those are the types of things I try to bring up when I'm live here. But when you get a week where most of the stuff is just being kind of like opinion related type stuff, like I said, on a previous show, sometimes it's not even worth breaking out the soapbox to even talk about it. It's not worth the time nor effort. But with that being said, here we did get close to an hour here, even though I've apologized for the dead air trying to get these pictures and stuff loaded here. But that would also mean that on that note, my East Coast people will still have a part of their Saturday still up and ready for them to still do their Saturday type stuff. And it gives us more time everywhere else to complete what they want to do on Saturday. So on that note, live life, grow, and be well. We're going to end this one early here. I don't think Facebook is not playing nice with me right now. So it is what it is here, and I will probably respond back to the pictures on the cell phone here, but I can't share it with everybody. So on that note, live life, grow, and be well. I see you guys here next week with more new comic books picked up. Hopefully new pages and everything that I could show that is being done comic book wise. More series to comic book series being completed, and we just have something very intense or very, very educational to talk about next week. So until then, I bid you adieu and good night and have a great rest of your Saturday.